Close your eyes for a second, not because I want you to escape reality, but because most men never actually feel the moment they walk into a room. They rush, they perform. They try too hard to be impressive, and the strange thing is, the harder a man tries to be attractive, the less attraction he creates. Because attraction isn't loud, it isn't desperate. It isn't a list of pickup lines or rehearsed tricks, it's a feeling, a quiet gravity, a presence that makes her lean in before she even understands why. Today, I want to talk to you about something most men misunderstand. They think attraction is about chasing attention. But real attraction, the kind she can't resist, begins the moment you stop chasing and start becoming someone she feels safe being curious about. Slow down. Listen carefully. Because this isn't about manipulation, it's about understanding human psychology, emotional tension, and the silent language people feel before they speak. Imagine you walk into a space. You don't scan the room nervously. You don't search for approval. You stand grounded, aware, present. Most men walk in with a question hanging over their head. Do they like me? But the man she notices carries a different energy. His question is quieter, more calm. Do I like this moment? That shift changes everything. Because attraction stops when your attention stops begging to be chosen and starts choosing, not with arrogance, not with ego, with quiet certainty. Women are incredibly sensitive to emotional noise. They notice when a man is trying to impress. They feel when he's forcing charm. But when you slow down your movements, when your words carry space between them, something subtle happens. She begins to feel your calm as contrast to the chaos around her, and curiosity is born. Most men believe attraction is about saying the perfect thing. It isn't. It's about leaving room for imagination. You don't rush to fill silence, you let moments breathe, because silence, when held with confidence, becomes magnetic. Think about the last time someone made you feel truly seen. They weren't talking non-stop. They weren't proving themselves. They were listening, watching, responding with intention. That's emotional presence. And presence is irresistible. Here's where many men go wrong. They believe intensity means pressure. They lean too close, emotionally too fast. They try to escalate conversation with rehearsed confidence. But true attraction moves like a slow tide, not a sudden wave. When you speak, lower your pace. Let your words land. Allow eye contact to linger 1 second longer than expected, then gently release it. That rhythm creates tension without force. You don't need to dominate the room. You only need to feel comfortable inside yourself, because comfort is contagious. And when she senses that you're not trying to win her approval, she begins to wonder what it would feel like to earn your attention. The instant attraction trick isn't a line. It's a shift in emotional energy. Most interactions begin with evaluation. She's asking silently, is this man safe? Is he grounded? Is he real? If your energy feels scattered, she pulls away. If your energy feels heavy or needy, she withdraws. But when your presence feels steady, curious, slightly mysterious, her guard softens. Let me tell you something powerful. Attraction grows strongest in the space between what you say and what you don't say. You don't reveal everything at once. You allow pieces of yourself to appear gradually. Not because you're hiding, but because mystery invites engagement. When you speak about your life, avoid over-explaining. Share a glimpse, then pause. Let her ask questions. Because when she invests emotionally, she becomes part of the conversation instead of a spectator. Now listen closely. Confidence isn't loud laughter or exaggerated gestures. Confidence is the absence of hurry. When you move slower than the environment expects, you signal control. When you respond instead of react, you signal emotional depth. And depth quietly pulls people closer. There's a moment in every interaction where energy shifts. She tests you, but emotionally, maybe she teases you. Maybe she pulls back slightly. Maybe she challenges your opinion. This is where most men panic. They try harder, they chase validation. But the man who creates attraction stays relaxed. He smiles, acknowledges, and remains steady. Because attraction isn't built by proving strength, it's built by demonstrating emotional balance. You don't need to be perfect. In fact, small imperfections make you human. What matters is how you carry them. When you can laugh softly at yourself without losing composure, you create warmth without losing mystery. Here's something rarely discussed. Attraction deepens when a woman feels emotionally safe, but not emotionally bored. Safety comes from consistency. Intrigue comes from unpredictability, so you balance both. Your tone stays calm, but your thoughts remain layered. You reveal depth slowly like a story unfolding. Let's talk about eye contact, not staring, not intense pressure, just a gentle, grounded gaze that says, I'm present, look, listen, then briefly look away, as if you're considering what she said. That micro pause makes her feel heard, and feeling heard is deeply attractive. Another secret most men ignore, your internal dialogue shapes your external energy. If you're thinking, I hope she likes me, your body tightens. Your voice speeds up, your movements become restless. But if your inner thought becomes, I'm curious about who she is, everything softens. Curiosity replaces performance. And authenticity becomes visible. When she laughs, don't rush to fill the moment. Let the laughter fade naturally. Smile or hold the eye contact for a heartbeat. Then shift the conversation gently. That space creates emotional rhythm, and rhythm feels intimate without crossing boundaries. Many men confuse boldness with aggression. But real boldness is emotional honesty delivered with calm respect. You can say softly, "You have an interesting way of looking at things." Not as a compliment chasing approval, but as an observation. Observations feel more genuine than flattery, and genuine words stay longer in someone's mind. Attraction is rarely about what you say first. It's about how she feels after the interaction ends. Does she feel lighter, more curious, more understood? If yes, she will remember you long after the conversation ends. Here's a powerful shift. Stop trying to create attraction instantly. Instead, create an atmosphere where attraction can grow naturally. You're not forcing a spark, you're becoming the environment where sparks feel safe to appear. And yes, tension matters. But tension isn't pressure. It's the subtle awareness that something meaningful is happening beneath the surface. You create tension through pauses, through calm confidence, through moments where your words slow and your presence deepens. Imagine walking beside her. You're not leaning in constantly. You're not trying to fill silence. You're comfortable with shared quiet. That comfort becomes rare, and rarity creates value. One of the strongest attraction signals is emotional restraint. You don't react to every stimulus, you choose your responses. That choice shows emotional maturity, and maturity feels safe yet intriguing. There's also power in ending interactions before energy fades. Leave while the atmosphere feels warm. A simple, calm goodbye, a genuine smile, a slight pause before turning away. That unfinished feeling creates anticipation. And anticipation is the heartbeat of attraction. Now listen carefully to this part. You don't become irresistible by pretending to be someone else. You become irresistible by removing the urgency that makes you act unlike yourself. When urgency disappears, authenticity rises, and authenticity is magnetic. Many men think attraction is about dominance, but what truly draws people in is emotional clarity, knowing who you are, knowing what you value, and expressing it without needing agreement. That grounded self-expression feels strong yet peaceful. She isn't searching for perfection. She's responding to emotional signals. Is this man calm? Is he attentive? Does he create space or pressure? When your presence feels like space, she relaxes. When she relaxes, attraction has room to grow. So what is the instant attraction trick? It's not a sentence. It's not a move. It's the moment you shift from seeking validation to offering presence, from chasing attention to creating atmosphere, from trying to impress to allowing connection. And when you practice this, something subtle begins to change. Conversations feel slower, eye contact feels warmer, moments feel deeper. And she starts leaning closer, not because you forced anything, but because she feels something real. Remember, attraction begins internally, your breathing, your posture, your pace. Slow them down and your energy becomes grounded. Grounded energy feels rare in a world that moves too fast, and rarity draws curiosity. You don't need to talk endlessly. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is less. Let silence carry meaning. Let pauses create emotion. Let presence speak louder than performance. And when you walk away calmly. No rush, no hesitation, just a quiet confidence that says you enjoyed the moment without needing to control the outcome. Because true attraction grows strongest when it feels free, not forced. If this message resonated with you, take a second to breathe. Notice how slowing down changes how you feel. That same calm is what she feels when she's around a man who understands emotional presence. Stay with me a little longer. Because most advice stops at the surface and real transformation always happens underneath it. There's a quiet difference between a man who seeks attention and a man who becomes unforgettable. The first tries to be noticed, the second allows himself to be felt, and people don't always remember words, but they remember how someone made them feel when the world slowed down around them. You see, attraction isn't built in dramatic moments. It grows inside the subtle details most men overlook, the way you listen without interrupting, the way your expression softens when she speaks about something meaningful, the way your body language says, "I'm here," without demanding anything in return. Many men believe they need to create excitement every second, but constant stimulation feels exhausting. What she rarely experiences is calm intensity. A presence that feels steady yet emotionally awake. That balance becomes powerful because it feels different from the noise she encounters every day. When you speak words, let your voice drop slightly at the end of a sentence, not as a performance, but as a sign of certainty. Unfinished upward tones sound like you're asking for approval. A grounded tone feels like you trust your own words, and trust, even subtle trust, is attractive. There's a moment during conversation where energy becomes personal. It might be when she shares something vulnerable, or when laughter turns into a quieter silence. Most men panic there, they rush to change the topic or fill the space. But if you stay calm and simply acknowledge the moment connection deepens naturally, you might say softly, "That sounds like it meant a lot to you." Then pause. Let her expand if she wants. That gentle validation builds emotional safety without trying too hard. Attraction grows strongest when she feels seen, not analyzed. Curiosity, not interrogation. So instead of asking rapid questions, let conversations unfold like a slow rhythm. One thought, one response, one breath between them. Now let's talk about emotional tension again, because many misunderstand it. Tension doesn't come from pushing boundaries. It comes from the awareness that something meaningful is shared between two people even when nothing dramatic is happening. When you hold eye contact during a quiet moment and then gently look away, it creates a sense of mystery, not confusion, not distance, just enough space for imagination to breathe. Imagination is powerful because people often become attracted not only to who you are, but to how they feel around you. When interactions feel calm yet slightly electric, she begins to associate your presence with emotional depth. And emotional depth leaves a lasting impression. Let me share something important. You don't need to constantly prove strength. True strength feels relaxed. It allows humor. It allows warmth. It allows moments where you're simply human. When you admit small imperfections with ease, you show emotional security. And emotional security feels rare. Sometimes attraction grows in the way you leave a sentence unfinished. You might say, slowly, you have an interesting perspective on things. Then pause and smile lightly. That openness invites her curiosity. She leans closer emotionally because she senses there's more beneath your words. Another subtle shift. Stop reacting instantly to everything she says. Take a breath before answering. That tiny delay communicates thoughtfulness. It shows you're not rushing to impress. You're choosing your words carefully. And chosen words carry weight. Many men try to be endlessly entertaining. But mystery grows when you allow small layers of yourself to remain undiscovered. You don't share every detail of your life immediately. You reveal pieces gradually, like pages turning in a story. Because anticipation creates emotional momentum. And here's something rarely discussed. Your environment affects attraction more than you think. If the setting feels loud or chaotic, your calm energy stands out even more. If the setting feels quiet, your subtle humor becomes memorable. Adapt without losing yourself. That flexibility shows emotional intelligence. Let's slow down even further. Imagine a moment where conversation pauses naturally. You both look around, maybe smile softly, maybe share a quiet breath. That silence isn't empty, it's full of awareness, and awareness is intimate in the most respectful way. Respect is essential. Real attraction never pressures. It invites, it allows choice. And when she feels free, she moves closer willingly. Freedom and attraction grow together. You don't chase every opportunity to impress. Sometimes you let her take the lead in conversation. You listen, you respond, you create a rhythm that feels balanced. Balance feels emotionally mature, and maturity is deeply magnetic. Another powerful shift is how you handle humor. Instead of loud jokes seeking validation, try gentle, observant humor. Something light, something unexpected, something that reveals your perspective rather than demands applause, because quiet humor feels personal, and personal moments create connection. There will be moments when she tests emotional boundaries unintentionally. Maybe she becomes distant for a moment, maybe her attention shifts. Instead of reacting with anxiety, stay grounded. Give space, continue being present without forcing engagement. That calm response shows self-respect, and self-respect naturally attracts respect from others. Here's something deeper. Attraction often mirrors how you treat yourself internally. If you rush your own thoughts, your energy feels restless. If you slow down, listen to yourself, accept your own pace, others begin to feel that stability. Inner calm becomes outer magnetism. And yes, body language matters. Relaxed shoulders, unforced posture, movements that feel intentional rather than hurried. You don't need exaggerated gestures. Small, grounded movements communicate more than dramatic ones ever could. Let's talk about emotional endings again, because they're powerful. When you sense the interaction has reached a warm peak, don't drag it longer than necessary. A simple, calm line like, "I enjoyed this conversation," delivered with sincerity, creates closure without pressure. Then step away with ease. That unfinished warmth leaves a strong emotional echo. Because attraction isn't just about beginnings, it's about the memory you leave behind. When she thinks back later, she shouldn't remember effort. She should remember feeling calm, curious, slightly drawn towards something she can't fully explain. And maybe that's the real secret. You don't try to become irresistible by adding more. You become irresistible by removing what feels forced, removing urgency, removing performance, removing the need to control the outcome. What remains is presence. And presence speaks louder than any strategy. Before we close, take another slow breath with me. Feel how the pace of this conversation slowed your thoughts. That same calm rhythm, when carried into real life, changes how people experience you. Not louder, not more aggressive, just more real. If you've made it this far, it means you're not looking for shortcuts. You're learning how to connect with depth, with awareness, with emotional intelligence. And that journey always begins inside. So take what resonated with you and practice it gently. No pressure, no rush, just small shifts repeated consistently. If this extended conversation gave you clarity, support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who's ready to understand attraction from a deeper psychological perspective. And tell me in the comments, what's one small change you'll make in the way you carry your presence starting today? Until next time, slow down, stay grounded, and let your energy speak before your words ever need to.